All of this is examined through a lens of latter-day understanding and a love that wears no blinders. When you meld Anjelica's ability to tell a story with the remarkable life she led, you have the makings of a classic. This book deserves a place on the same shelf as two cherished showbiz memoirs of the past half-century, Moss Hart's Act I and David Niven's The Moon is a Balloon. Even Anjelica's birth was cinematic. Her father got the news when he was in Uganda, filming The African Queen. A messenger handed him a telegram. He glanced at it and stuffed it into his pocket. When Katharine Hepburn insisted on knowing what the news was, John said, "It's a girl. Her name is Anjelica." That combination of larger-than-life circumstance and paternal offhandedness characterized much of Anjelica's relationship with her father. Life at the estate in County Galway was in many ways idyllic, a mouldering manor house, an Irish staff out of central casting, and a parade of visitors, including John Steinbeck, who dressed up as Santa Claus one Christmas. But could also be lonely. Her father was gone much of the time on movie business. When he returned, his affections and attention could be intense. The same epic qualities that made him beloved to his daughter, the rambunctious storytelling, the lithe physicality, the booming voice, and the sheer passion, guaranteed that his eye and his interests could be monopolized by no one. Anjelica's parents would eventually separate, but John would still return to the big house in the West Country, where the universe revolved, as he meant it to, around him. It can pretty much be said that Jonathan Ive and Steve Jobs co-invented the early, design-obsessed years of the 21st century. You may have heard of Jobs. Ive, though, has operated more in the shadows, but as the senior vice president of design at Apple, he is the man most responsible, along with the Apple co-founder, for the look, feel, and dazzling functionality of the MacBook Pro, the MacBook Air, the iPod, the iPhone, the iPad, and on and on. He's an elusive figure, preferring the quiet hum inside his impregnable design fortress at Apple headquarters in Cupertino, California, to the razzmatazz of public life. In getting him to come out of his lair to talk about design, it helped to have the involvement of my 2007 Africa issue guest editor, Bono. To raise money for his RED organization, which fights AIDS and HIV in Africa and elsewhere, Bono persuaded Ive and Mark Newsom, another giant of industrial design, to curate a charity auction of one-of-a-kind objects, which will take place in November at Sotheby's in New York. So this past summer, the two chums sat down with contributing editor Paul Goldberger for a series of wide-ranging discussions, not just about their collaboration on items for the auction, but more broadly about what they do, how they do it, and why industrial design matters. The result, Designing Men, is a reminder that our commercial, material world comprises not just products, but points of view, and sometimes deeply felt passions. In the November 1992 issue of Vanity Fair, Maureen Orth shocked readers with Mia's story, an unsparing account of the shattering breakup of Mia Farrow's 13-year partnership with Woody Allen. The couple's crisis dated from January 1992, after they had a son, Satchel, and Allen had formally adopted two of Farrow's children, a boy, Moses, and a 7-year-old girl named Dylan. What few people knew then was that for 2 years, Allen had been seeing a psychologist to deal with the exaggerated attention he was paying to Dylan. That January, Farrow found naked, lurid photographs of Sunyi Previn, the 21-year-old Korean girl whom she and her second husband, Andre Previn, had adopted. The pictures had been taken by Allen. In August, Dylan told her mother that Allen had fondled her sexually. Farrow took the child to her pediatrician, who was legally obligated to report Dylan's charges to the authorities. Allen promptly filed a preemptive lawsuit to win custody of Dylan, Satchel, and Moses. His supporters ruthlessly portrayed Farrow to the press as a scorned, desperate, pill-popping woman out for revenge. In the end, authorities declined to prosecute Allen, who eventually married Sunyi, though he lost the long, very public custody battle. That was where things stood back then. This month, Orth revisits Farrow and many of her children. For the first time, Dylan speaks on the record about what she says happened when she was 7. She's 28 now and happily married, and her name is no longer Dylan. Her frank collections are harrowing. Mia Farrow, the movie actress, is now Mia Farrow, the activist, a UNICEF ambassador to Africa. Her partner in this work has been her and Alan's son, now named Ronan.